Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or maybe you've been in the middle of a sentence and suddenly, blank. You lose the word. You know what you want to say, but it's just out of reach. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. And more importantly, it doesn't mean you're losing your mind. As we age, it's natural to notice little slips in memory, moments of fogginess, or times when our thoughts feel like they're moving through molasses instead of flowing clearly like they used to. We brush it off as senior moments, but deep down, it can feel a little scary. Like a quiet voice whispering, is this just aging, or something more? The truth is, there's a big difference between normal forgetfulness and true cognitive decline. And here's the best part. There's a lot you can do, every single day, to support your brain, keep your mind sharp, and clear away that mental fog that creeps in from time to time. It turns out that what we eat plays a much bigger role in our mental clarity than most people realize. Our brains are hungry little things. They don't just run on calories, they run on nutrients. And when they don't get what they need, they start to lag. That's when focus slips, memory fades, and everything feels a little bit slower. But when we feed our brain the right kinds of food, something amazing happens. That heaviness lifts. Words come back. Thoughts feel sharper. You feel more alert, more present, and more you. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 simple, delicious foods that have been shown to help clear brain fog, especially for those of us over 60. And no, you don't need to start a whole new diet. You don't need to count calories or track macros or cut out all your favorite foods. You just need to make a few smart choices, little additions that pack a big mental punch. Let's start with one of the most powerful foods for brain clarity, and it just might already be sitting in your fridge, blueberries. Now, these little berries might not look like much, but they are packed with antioxidants, especially one called anthocyanin, which gives them their rich purple-blue color. Antioxidants are like tiny bodyguards for your brain. They protect your brain cells from damage caused by stress, toxins, and aging. Studies have shown that people who eat blueberries regularly have better memory and focus, even as they get older. One study from Harvard found that women who ate at least 1 serving of blueberries or strawberries a week experienced slower cognitive decline by as much as 2.5 years. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between forgetting where you put your keys and remembering the entire grocery list. I remember talking to a man named Henry, he's 72 now. A few years ago, he was struggling with focus and word finding. His doctor recommended trying a few brain-healthy changes, and one of the easiest was adding blueberries to his breakfast every morning. Just a small handful on his oatmeal or in a smoothie. And after a few weeks, Henry said it was like someone had turned the lights back on in his head. He still had occasional slips, who doesn't, but overall, he felt quicker, clearer, more confident in conversations. And that's the beauty of it. Blueberries aren't some miracle cure, but they're a gentle, natural support for the brain. And they taste good too. They don't feel like medicine. They feel like a treat. Now let's move on to another food that's just as simple, but often overlooked, leafy greens. I'm talking about spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, the kind of stuff our parents always told us to eat but we pushed to the side of the plate. Well, turns out they were right. Leafy greens are loaded with nutrients that directly benefit the brain, like vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta-carotene. These nutrients help reduce inflammation in the brain and support healthy brain aging. In one long-term study from Rush University, older adults who ate at least 1 serving of leafy greens per day had brains that functioned up to 11 years younger than those who rarely ate them. Let that sink in for a moment. 11 years. Just from a handful of greens each day. That's like keeping the brain you had in your late 50s, even when you're well into your 60s or 70s. Now, I get it. Not everyone loves the taste of kale. But the good news is, there are easy ways to work greens into your meals without choking them down. Add a handful of spinach into a smoothie, you won't even taste it. Sauté some kale with garlic and olive oil and serve it alongside your dinner. Toss some romaine or arugula into a sandwich. The key is consistency, not perfection. Even small amounts can add up. There's a woman I met named Evelyn. She's 67, and for most of her life, she said she avoided vegetables like they were the plague. But when she started noticing brain fog, forgetting appointments, struggling to stay focused, she decided to try a few small changes. She started putting spinach in her morning eggs. That's it. Nothing crazy. After a couple of weeks, she said her thoughts felt lighter, like the fog was slowly lifting. Now she keeps a bag of baby greens in the fridge at all times. I don't love them, she said, but I love how I feel. And that's what it comes down to, how you feel. Because clearing brain fog isn't about being perfect or following a strict plan. It's about giving your brain what it needs to thrive. Little by little, day by day. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. There's something deeply comforting about the idea that what you eat each day can help clear away the fog, sharpen your thoughts, and bring a sense of clarity back to your mind. And what I love most is that the best brain foods aren't exotic or hard to find. They're often right there at the store, waiting for us to rediscover them, one small bite at a time. So now that we've talked about blueberries and leafy greens, let's talk about something a little richer. Something your brain absolutely loves, even if you've been told to stay away from fats. I'm talking about healthy fats, and more specifically, omega-3 fatty acids, the kind you'll find in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. You see, your brain is actually made up of about 60% fat, and it needs healthy fats to function properly. Omega-3s help build the structure of brain cells. They support communication between neurons. And they reduce inflammation, which, as you might guess, plays a big role in mental clarity. If you've ever felt mentally sluggish, struggled to find your words, or noticed your concentration drifting, there's a good chance your brain could use more of these fats. I remember meeting a man named Richard, 69 years old, who always said he had a foggy windshield in his brain. That was his way of describing it, like he was looking at life through glass that hadn't been cleaned in years. His doctor mentioned trying to add omega-3s into his routine. So Richard started eating salmon twice a week. Sometimes grilled, sometimes baked, sometimes in a simple sandwich with lemon and dill. After a month or so, he said the windshield was clearer. Not perfect, but better. He wasn't forgetting his neighbor's name anymore. He wasn't losing track of what he was saying mid-sentence. And the best part? He said he felt calmer. Less mentally jumpy. More grounded. That's the beauty of giving your brain the right building blocks. It doesn't need fancy supplements or extreme diets. Just real food, in real portions, with real results over time. And if fish isn't your thing, don't worry. There are other sources of omega-3s, like walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and even fortified eggs. The important thing is to make sure your brain is getting these essential fats regularly, because without them, it's like asking your brain to run a marathon with no fuel. Now, let's move to something sweet, not candy sweet, but earthy, natural sweetness that your brain adores. And that's beets. Yes, I know, beets are a bit of a love it or hate it food. But bear with me. Beets are one of the best foods you can eat to improve blood flow to the brain. They're rich in nitrates, which help widen blood vessels and improve circulation. And better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach your brain, which can translate to better focus, sharper memory, and improved energy. I once spoke to a woman named Lorraine who swore she could feel her brain wake up after drinking a glass of beet juice. Now, not everyone needs to go that far. Beet juice isn't for everyone. But roasting beets in the oven with a little olive oil, or adding them to a salad with goat cheese and walnuts, that can be delicious, satisfying, and incredibly good for your mind. And even more than that, there's something joyful about cooking food that you know is helping you, not just filling your belly, but feeding your brain. Sometimes, people think brain fog is just part of getting older. That it's something we have to accept, live with, tolerate. But I'm here to tell you, that's not true. You have more power than you think. And so often, that power starts with a fork, a plate, and a choice. It's not about being perfect. It's not about avoiding everything you love or following some strict set of rules. It's about inviting better clarity into your life, gently, one food at a time. Whether that's a handful of blueberries in the morning, some sautéed greens with dinner, a piece of salmon for lunch, or a few slices of roasted beet as a side, these little choices add up. And more than anything, it's about paying attention to how you feel. How your mind works when you feed it well. How conversations flow more easily. How your confidence returns, even in small, quiet ways. Because clearing brain fog isn't about fixing yourself, it's about supporting who you already are. And sometimes, that support comes in the form of something simple and satisfying on your plate. So take a look at your next meal. Is there something on your plate that your brain will love? If not, what small shift could you make? Not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel clear, strong, and present, not just in body, but in mind. There's something empowering about realizing that you can take control of your mental clarity, not with pills or perfect routines, but with small, nourishing choices you make each day. The kind of choices that don't just feed your stomach, but truly fuel your mind. And that brings us to the final food I want to share with you today, one that's simple, comforting, and surprisingly powerful. It's something you might already have in your kitchen: eggs. Now, eggs have gotten a bad rap over the years, especially when it comes to cholesterol. But research has shifted. And for your brain, eggs, particularly the yolk, are like little golden capsules of memory support. That's because egg yolks contain a nutrient called choline. Choline is essential for producing acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps with memory and learning. Without enough of it, your brain might struggle to form clear thoughts or recall things as quickly as it used to. And here's the thing, most people don't get enough choline, especially older adults. So having eggs a few times a week can actually help support sharper thinking. Scrambled, boiled, in an omelet, however you enjoy them, they're a wonderfully versatile way to give your brain what it needs. I once met a retired librarian named June. She was always known for her sharp wit and quick recall, but a few years after retirement, she began noticing a haze creeping into her days. It was like walking through water, she said. I couldn't remember names. Couldn't keep track of conversations. Her daughter suggested trying a few simple nutrition changes, and one of them was bringing eggs back into her breakfast routine. It wasn't overnight. But over time, things began to shift. She felt more focused when reading. Conversations became smoother. And little by little, June felt like herself again. I didn't change everything, she told me. I just started giving my brain a bit more of what it needed. And really, that's what it all comes down to, giving your brain what it needs. With every bite, every choice, every small shift, you're saying to yourself, I still matter. My mind still matters. I'm not done yet. Now, let's take a moment and step back. Think about these 4 simple foods we've talked about: blueberries, leafy greens, fatty fish, or plant-based omega-3s, and eggs. None of them require special recipes. None of them ask you to give up the things you love. They just ask you to make space on your plate, and space in your life, for the things that support your clarity, your focus, and your peace of mind. And what's beautiful is that this isn't just about memory or avoiding brain fog. It's about showing up fully for your life. Feeling like yourself again. Laughing and meaning it. Walking into a room and remembering why you're there. Listening to a friend's story and staying present all the way through. Food is so much more than fuel. It's connection. It's care. It's self-respect. And when we choose to nourish ourselves in a way that honors our mind as much as our body, the results can be quietly transformative. You don't have to change everything overnight. Maybe tomorrow, you add a few blueberries to your breakfast. Maybe this weekend, you roast some beets with dinner. Maybe next time you grocery shop, you toss a bag of spinach in the cart. Tiny changes. But with each one, you're clearing a bit more of that mental haze, giving your brain room to breathe, and inviting more clarity into your days. If something in this video spoke to you, if you've tried one of these foods or have your own brain fog busting favorite, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Your story might be the exact encouragement someone else is waiting for. And if this helped you feel seen, supported, or inspired, even just a little, please take a moment to click like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be joining a community of people who believe that aging isn't the end of vitality, it's the beginning of deeper wisdom, better choices, and a life lived with intention. Here's to your brain, to its resilience, its brilliance, and its quiet whispers that say, "Take care of me, and I'll take care of you." Here's to food that feels good and helps you think even better. And most of all, here's to you, still learning, still thriving, still right here, and still so very sharp. You've got this. And your brain? It's cheering you on every step of the way.